Hello and welcome to our third episode of the Field of Friendly Strifes. I am your host, Justin Schaff. I am producing solo today. I'm missing my partner in crime. Oh, there we are. He's already in. Oh my gosh.
Ready
Rod.
to go.
Yep, I'm producing this guy solo here, so I apologize for throwing you right into this. I'm just giving a nice little conversation about what this episode is today and what we're talking about. So, uh, we're talking about maybe something that you'd even have a little bit of an opinion on. We're talking about the invasion, if you will, that's taking over our shores, the invasion
Yeah.
of global football that's happening. And I thought it was really fitting. I read a piece from Mike Florio about how the NFL is taking note and what power could come from if you do indeed play your cards right here and have a global takeover, if you will. What do you make of the World Cup?
Before I give my opinion, last time I was here, we had no decking. This is,
Wow!
as you dub it, the Kirko deck. This is, it's not quite done. Get some deck boards on there, but anyway, back to the topic at hand. It's really interesting. I'm in a pocket of North Carolina. The soccer's not big, but again, you can get it. You're seeing it everywhere, and obviously, it's big. The U.S. is doing well, which certainly helps. I found it fascinating. I went to a conference for a software that I helped sell, Agent Live 360, back just before Thanksgiving last year. Soccer conference in Wimbledon, south part of London, and as soon as they found out I was an American, all they wanted to talk about at a soccer conference was American football. And again, I
Wow!
would say, like, all right, is it okay if I call it soccer? Because I know some people are a little bit more sensitive to that. But again, all the again, there's been plenty of negative, plenty of positive on both sides of it. Again, without question, the NFL can take note of the waves, the droves of people that just are interested in sport, that are interested in a well-produced match, a well-produced game. I certainly think they're, going to be, there's going to be plenty of conversations, and again, it's so good sport, regardless of what it is good, and any professional league should be taking note.
Yeah, definitely, and it just makes sense. When you and I were find ourselves receiving paychecks from NFL teams as W-2 employees, this was starting to become a buzz. The international growth, and will be a conversation in our bit here in a little while. But to me, it's no secret that this is something that is coming, and it's now understandable why the NFL is so bullish about it because when you have, gosh, I think I've read somewhere like 3 billion eyeballs are on this thing.
Yeah.
It's incredible the possibilities and potential that are there. But Rod, sorry for throwing you into this thing so quick. I don't know. Are you comfy? Do you need to get yourself situated? I'm
No,
sorry
let's
that.
let's rock and roll again. I'm out here. I'm comfortable at the homestead, man. I've been sweating all day, putting some decking on, so ready to talk some ball.
Awesome. Well, the Kirko deck looks great. I can't pay enough compliments to it. And just another beautiful day there in North Carolina.
Absolutely.
Yes. All right. So we like the topic here about trades that are happening here, heading into the summer pre-training camp. Saw a quite an interesting. I think it was an IG post or something. Who knows? I'm still trying to learn all the social media stuff for a guy that wasn't very active, if ever active, for most of my life on Earth. That Brandon Ayuk, wide receiver, San Francisco 49ers, giving a little "Go Commanders" shout. I saw. What do you make of that? Is this going to gain any traction? What do you think?
I don't think so. I mean, it has been so long and so rocky for Ayuk now. I mean, to me, you're foolish if you're trading more than a compensatory 7 for Ayuk. Maybe a compensatory 6, but again, it's been said by both sides he's never playing for the 49ers again. And Brandon's not a young man, obviously had an injury and has really struggled to come back from that. Sounds like there's a number of other issues as well. But again, when both sides have said, yeah, he's not going to be he's not going to suit up for us again, kind of leverage is gone. So it's just going to be a matter of, hey, how do we release him? How do we get this taken care of? How do we just get rid of the San Francisco? They dealt with some Jaywan Jennings drama. They have they've had plenty of things in the high headlines that Ayuk doesn't need to be one, and I would expect this thing to get resolved, or when we get around to training camp time. And I don't think he gets traded. I do think, again, Washington's certainly a fit for him, but I think he'll have a couple teams that are interested. But I don't see any trade happening here.
Oh, okay, interesting. Because help me and refresh me. Wide receiver core in DC. What's that depth look like? I would imagine he's saying go Commanders because he wants to pair up with his Arizona State buddy in Jaden Daniels. Does he? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense. Could he come in there and be I won't say a number one, but somebody that gives Jaden a viable target? Just need caught up a little bit NFC East Commanders as to why you're saying no.
Yeah, I mean, he's not the one, clearly, with Terry McLaurin there. And again, T-Mac is very good.
Right.
Again, they've drafted the young tight end who was really, has come on along. They kind of went, they struggled after a bit. It was never,
I got you. Oh,
yep. No, sorry, I got a call there. They really struggled at wide receiver. Again, all of that regardless, forget their depth chart. If you're the Commanders, what are you getting? Who are you getting? Again, is this a number 3 vertical threat? Is this a guy that was a good 1-2 option in San Francisco when he really lit it up? Again, you have no idea what you're getting. And again, it doesn't matter how many workout videos, Brandon and his agent sends, until Washington gets their hands on him, does a physical, watches him work out. It's just that giant question mark that you just really have no idea on.
Yeah, no, good shout. And I can remember, this is going back in the archives. Actually, when we played the Cardinals, there was just naturally an excuse to go to Sun Devil Stadium and watch the kid. I remember him as a returner, and all that makes perfect sense regarding that type of explosive athlete, who he is, what's he going to be like coming back from the injury. And gosh, I feel so sheepish forgetting about Terry. Wow, that's going to be one egg on the face there. So now I've got the Kirko whiff there, and now I've got the egg on the face for forgetting, the number 1 wide receiver in DC. So DQ, if you're watching, so sorry. Shame on me. Totally embarrassed. I'll do push-ups later. Keeping with the trade theme here, Rod, I've read some chatter that Mac Jones is potentially on the move, not to be ruled out. What do you make of that?
Yeah. Again, this is one where, again, he's put up good snaps. He has been, again, we've seen him as a starter. There was some good there on a not very good team back when he was in New England. He has certainly carried and looked good, looked like a spot starter in San Francisco when he had his time there. Again, this is one where, again, teams are desperate for a quarterback. There are some teams that could use a quarterback. Do I think they trade him? Man, I think the value has to be right. Does somebody offer a third? Again, does somebody view him as a starter? I don't think so. Especially, again, all we've heard of this offseason is another historic quarterback class, which is really easy to say before the college football season starts. We heard it last year. We're going to hear it this year. Yes, this year's quarterback class looks better, so maybe some teams are patient. But again, I don't think it's going to go away. He can certainly run an offense. Do I think it's going to happen prior to training camp? I could certainly see a cut down to 53 trade happening for one of these that, hey, maybe with Mac we're a little bit more competitive than would have been otherwise.
Sure. No, I like to take he came in a little broken there with the service, but I just can't say enough how enamored I am with all these Shanahan rehab projects that are taking place, like Shanahan OC there in Minnesota. really cool to see the tree of Shanahan, Kubiak there, in the 90s of the Broncos era and all their offspring and products that have come from it, literally and figuratively, with sons now coach as head coaches. Just seeing how they're able to give these guys a second chance, go through a reclamation project, and have the opportunity to start over. So exciting to at least hear that he's got a potential chance. But either if he doesn't, he's still in a great spot there in San Francisco to keep growing, developing.
Again, yeah, no question. You want to play for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, it's pretty obvious, watching some of these guys that have gone through there. One Sam Darnold spent a year as a backup there and came out on the other side looking really good. So again, it's you want to play for Kyle Shanahan, and I don't think guys are looking to get out of there. They know their opportunity will come.
No doubt. And we talked a little bit about the global football, the word that they're starting to warm up to a little bit more around the world, soccer. I'm starting to see the chatter. Knew it was coming. It was already getting pushed a little bit by I don't want to call him the instigator, but the one that definitely challenges us to think in Mike Florio about the the grass fields that are being put. I think makes a lot of strong points just purely from a simple standpoint of these owners are willing to take on the expense for the hosting of guests into their building, for lack of a better term, but their own W-2 employees, they won't make the investment for a safer, better playing surface. I lob up to you. I wonder here, has FIFA in some ways, put on a golden platter the opportunity for the owners to get to the CBA a little quicker. I know J.C. Tretter, new executive director, is saying that they're in no hurry, but could the NFL have a, if you will, on a silver platter, natural grass fields to start the conversation with them as to their investment?
It's a tough one. As we well know, the game of international football, soccer, and American football are quite different. Again,
yes,
the wear patterns between the hashes. And again, you think about the teams that, at Pittsburgh, famous for, again, they have 2-3 teams playing in their Tampa. They're going to resod every year. I mean, if you're talking about a grass field, it's not just a one-time investment. It is massive investment with plenty of issues. You're talking, you're digging subsurfaces and drainage. Like, can it be done? Yes, certainly. Green Bay, their hybrid field, again, grass turf that they somehow keep halfway decent. Again, they've got hot water pipes, right? Like, there's a lot of considerations on this, the least of which is soccer and football are very different games in the way the grass is worn. And again, we went through it when the Mercedes-Benz was opening. I don't know how many iterations of new turf fields we saw down there as they tried to get a natural grass turf feel, the way the soccer ball rolled, the way it feels for football. Again, very different games, very different demands. Do I think it ultimately leads to anything? No. It's a good conversation piece. It's more research. It's ultimately going to come back to, and how much of a difference does it make? And again, owners, and we've seen turf's not a bad option. Dig into the numbers and let the numbers tell you what you want to, and numbers lie all the time. So we'll see which numbers they pick.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. What numbers they pick, and there's no doubt though that the numbers the owners are looking at is the bottom line. And with this World Cup phenomenon that's taking place within our shores, they're going to be very anxious to get 18 games locked in so that there is one international game guaranteed every week, and they can start making this the traveling circus. And I've even heard some hot takes, and I'll leave with this pause. Again, give credit where credit's due there with Mike Florio throwing it out in that, like, it's not out of the question that there could be 8 more teams. You could have 4 in Europe, 4 over in the Pacific, and before long, you've got a 20-game season with maybe 2 preseason games, and we've got a real circus suffice to say,
Circus.
yes, circus, and driven by the bottom line of more dollars in the pocket. So let's wrap it up here. Aside from dollars and cents, talking ball with the college game at the NCAA level, we saw there the NFL came down saying that Mr. Brennan Sorsby will not be eligible for the supplemental draft as the league will not have one. What do you make of the decision? Good decision, right decision? What's Rod's take on it?
Surprising decision, certainly. Again, there
choice.
will be lawyers. There will be lawsuits, as again we've already seen it. I don't. The NFL is really good at maybe making the right decision, but maybe going about it the wrong way. I think their statement was, again, just because you exhaust all your other options doesn't mean you're automatically eligible. I don't know. There's a number of guys who have been taken in the supplemental draft who that was, again, academically ineligible, tattoo gate. Like the president has shown, like, if you get declared ineligible, you can come to the supplemental draft. Now, it's interesting because, again, technically there was an injunction. Brendan Sorsby was eligible to play. There, again, all the questions surrounding it, the pending litigation, he was technically eligible to play. So if the NFL wants to state that, that's one thing. The NFL has also made it very clear their policy on gambling. And that's where, all right, if we want to, we can't say that because he's not technically an NFL player. Again, maybe this is just their way of being, hey, we want to keep this away from our game until it all gets sorted out. Again, we've seen year-long suspensions. We've seen it with Calvin Ridley. Again, they take gambling very, very seriously. So, again, maybe this is their effort to crack down on that. But, again, there's probably an easier, less litigated way of going about that. Again, I was very surprised. On a calendar year where, again, if you want to call it a dead time on this football calendar, there'd be plenty of buzz and excitement about Brendan Sorsby. He's a good player. I think he would be a mid-round draft pick in the supplemental draft. Ton of questions, certainly. Somebody's going to take him, though. And again, if the NFL, if there would be a way for him to be like, hey, if you enter, you're agreeing to an 8-game suspension because you've admitted to this. Again, that seems to be a route. I'm interested to see if he goes back and does try to find a college. Somebody out there would give him a chance. Again, the litigation, the transfer, whatever it is, somebody would give him a chance because he's going to help him win games. So again, I know we don't think we'll see him. I don't ultimately think we'll see plays, but I think he's going to exhaust all options.
Yeah, defo, and just call it what it is, right? It's the court of public opinion decides the fate for people, and to that end, the NFL is very, very attuned to the court of public opinion and what the perception is of its shield and its brand. Certainly. So they obviously were looking to
9,000 bets in like 4 or 5 years. 9,000 bets that he's admitted to. That is, again, it's one thing to gamble a little bit. That is. Again, you start talking addiction. I know he did the outpatient stuff. Hopefully he is well. Hopefully he's overcome. Again, differing opinions on that, but that is a lot of gambling.
Oh, yeah, that is a lot of gambling. And when a brand and a shield is trying to protect its integrity of games being pure, not being fixed, being live, just fair play. They're gonna be very aggressive about ensuring that's protective, and I wouldn't be surprised from a guy here hosting a podcast in Erie, Pennsylvania, just north of the border. We see the guy suit up in the CFL, and maybe
I love the CFL. I speak highly of the CFL. I don't think the CFL would be the right route for this kid. And again, I say that with all due respect to the great game that Canadian football has and everybody out there. Again, for Brendan Sorsby, in my opinion, the best thing he will do if he can't play this year is just sit it out and sign up. I'm not sure what the next step would be. A futures deal, enter the 2027 draft, probably. Again, I think that would be his best route. But again, there's still more to the story. Us on the outside don't know. So again, that's just one man's opinion.
Well, but it's one man that is highly reputable, highly credible. Brendan Sorsby and his representatives, if you're listening, get get in touch with Rod at Right Step Advising. He'll be able to give you the skinny and help you have valuable information to consider what to do next. So, Rod, with that said, if you could let the viewers know where they can find you to get in touch, starting with Brendan Sorsby and what they've got on the docket here, just so the listeners can know how to get in touch.
Yeah. Like Justin said, my website, rsafootball.com, my business, Right Step Advising. You can find me on Twitter. That's the best spot, at Right Step ADV. Hit me, comments, DMs on there. And then make sure you check out my podcast, Scouting the League, everywhere where podcasts are at. I actually go into supplemental draft and a little Brendan Sorsby evaluation Monday this week. So make sure you check that one out. We took a look at another player, Ahmad Hardy of Missouri, running back that may be a part of the 27 draft yesterday. So check those out on YouTube. Make sure you hit all those buttons and let me know what players. You got players you want to hear, let me know. Happy to talk them, throw some film up, and let you know what I think of them.
Awesome, Rod. You're the best. And before you leave, you got to show the Kirko deck. Oh, look at that Kirko porch. Oh, it's so nice.
2x12s across. We got a nice span. It's eventually going to be covered and screened.
Wow.
I'm going to watch a lot of football, eat a lot of grilled food out here, and Justin, as I've said before, you'll be a part of it soon.
That's it. Well, I can't wait, and then we'll have a podcast studio there too when the bet hits 100%. For Kirko making the Pro Bowl. Rod, you the man. All my best to the family, brother. Appreciate you. Yep. Cheers.
Yep. See you, Justin.
See ya. Let's see. Remove. There we go. Just the best. I can't say enough good things about Rod. I'm echoing what I said last week. I don't think we realize just how fortunate we are that he comes on the show to contribute. You see him just in the middle of house projects, but the information he's putting out there is just pure gold, really pure gold. So thanks, Rod. Appreciate you. We'll move on here to the global state of football, where we've got the Terrace. We've got our devout and dedicated Yankee, Will Zeckman, calling into the show here again, back from a visit in Atlanta, Georgia, wearing the Gunners kit. I absolutely love it. If we had enough characters to be able to fit the banner in, it literally is going to say Will Zeckman, industrialist, has more Arsenal shirts than dress shirts. It's just that simple. So
you can also put top of the league.
Top of the league, and looking to go after the triple next campaign, without a doubt. Just a matter of keeping the Gunners that are wearing the Three Lions kit fit. A discussion likely coming here about yesterday's match, but let's first talk about how were the travels? Last time you called us, you were headed down to Hotlanta for some lively football in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. How was the visit?
Great trip. Great stadium. Honestly, I'd never been to the Benz, but just really neat to see what they've been able to do with some of these modern stadiums, and especially down in Atlanta. It was a lively city, and people were really excited, which was really neat. There was multiple watch parties, throughout the city. Everyone wearing kits, everyone just really excited. It was pretty awesome. And
right.
First game was very close. It was South Africa, Czechia, goal early on, then at the very end, but it was exciting. And then on Sunday, the Spain rout on Saudi Arabia that looked like they were going to score every time they went forward. Just amazing to watch them play, and it's going to be hard, I think, for people to stop them now that they're getting going.
Yeah, no, I thought the same thing. They could have scored easily 8 goals. It was ridiculous. I thought of you the whole time. I'm glad you got a chance to enjoy MBS. Shout out to Arthur Blank and his vision, to not only stay committed to keeping it in the city of Atlanta with the sports and entertainment infrastructure that was there, but the way in which he constructed the stadium. Fun fact, just nerding out here a little bit, on architecture. It's called a stadium because it's actually built, as the stadium is built inside and it's a structure over it. That's why it's not a dome. So it really was, for lack of a better term, two constructions. It was the construction of the stadium, right?
Yeah.
And then they built over top of it the shell. So that's why it keeps the definition stadium. So fun fact for you there.
Pretty interesting. Yeah. It was it made me question, some of these hydration breaks a little bit. You've got the climate controlled area atmosphere and you know, the loudest cheers during that South Africa game were the boos during the hydration breaks, which was pretty amazing. Um, so
Classic.
yeah,
Absolute classic.
it was good though. It was great, and hope that everyone can get to a game if they want to, and yeah, hopefully they see that. I think a lot of people in the U.S. have seen the game and they're like, "Wow, I want to be a part of this." So it was really neat.
That's awesome. Yeah, and warms my heart too because there seemed to be a lot of hysteria and concern around not only the ticket prices and that there was going to be no attendance, there was going to be no support of this, and I saw a stat. I'm not savvy enough to be able to put the graphic up, but that they sold 99.5%. They've been at 99.5% capacity on average across all of North America. So that's including our neighbors to the north and south. Really just been great to see the support and folks coming in droves to the stadium. And furthermore, like, it's warmed my heart to see our international partners be complimentary and showing their awe of America. So like to that end, Americans could kind of realize and take in like, oh, we actually really do got it pretty good. Like maybe we shouldn't be so up in arms about how awful things are. Like the rest of the world is coming, to our shores and they're saying how good we have it. So a good eye opener and fun to see that synergy taking place between us and the world.
Yeah, I think some of these cities are trying to use this too as a launching off point. I think the best marketing thing Atlanta did was as you were walking out of the stadium, they were giving out free peaches to everybody, which was pretty cool. They're like, "Welcome to Atlanta, Georgia, Georgia peaches." So that was pretty neat, and people got really excited about that. That I think had maybe only heard that on television or something.
Well, was there any? This is the last thing I asked. Was there any buzz about the Lord's Chicken when they were there and having Chick-fil-A? Was there any of that conversation from any of the foreigners that you bumped into? Because the peach, I'm sure, was divine because it was fresh, grown right there in the Peach State. But I'm dying to know, did they have any buzz about the Lord's Chicken and Chick-fil-A?
It was more focused around Waffle House, actually, which was pretty awesome.
Waffle House.
Yeah.
Oh, Waffle House. Classic. Well, we haven't talked anything football. We've just been talking about culture in Atlanta, but that's what makes global football so great, soccer, because it is primarily cultural. But let's talk about our beloved Stars and Stripes, shall we? Off to a great start in the group, securing 6 points. It's having a clean sheet on the second one. I hate that I'm coming back to the culture more for a point I can't stay focused, but I just am enamored with how our country is supporting it. Seattle, off the charts. That was incredible. When I listened to them sing the national anthem with the team, I'm thinking, we're going to win the whole thing. This is incredible. Like the energy's off the charts. You can't stop Americans when they unite. So, but getting to the actual tactical element of things on the 11 on the pitch, what do you make of this squad? Are they for real? Like, is this something that we can believe in? What say you about the Stars and Stripes?
It was definitely a telling performance. No Christian Pulisic, no problem. The Americans look more than ever, soccer or football players rather than just athletes. In the past, we've had so many people that just say, well, they're very athletic, but they don't understand the game. They're not going to, play a certain way, which can be true at times. However, I think today we're showing that, the team's come a long way. The coaching staff have come a long way, not only at the senior level, but also at the youth level. And there may be players, someone like a Tyler Adams that started in the MLS academies in New York, and then has gone over to Europe and succeeded. But that doesn't start when he's 24 years old. That starts when he's 10 years old, 6 years old. So I think that's a big testament to the youth coaches and the staff there, getting these players ready, because most of them have spent at least a little bit of time in the U.S., which is pretty neat.
Yeah, defo. It's been really cool to see our boys come together, gel the way that they are, and like I said, when you give Americans something to believe in, it's contagious and it's powerful. So they stay fit. Knock on wood, wherever I can get it right. Knock on wood there. But even in moments that they're not, like you said, with Captain Chocolate, right? Our boy from Hershey. They're able to adjust. Let's put two attacking forwards in there. Let's get Pepe in there, and tactically be able to execute. So it's definitely exciting. To that end, do you think that if it all settles the way that it's being drawn up to be, still a lot to be determined, so maybe a bit premature on some predictions, but do you think this squad is going to make a run in the knockouts? Do you think that there is juice behind them, that this is bold, but a semifinals not out of the question?
I think a quarterfinals is certainly realistic as far as a goal that, if they achieve that, would not come as a big surprise. At that point, you got to beat somebody big or get lucky in the draw. I think that they're gonna push whoever they play, and like you said, they're gonna be on home soil. I know that most of these group games are guaranteed for all the fans coming across, but it's not going to be that way come the knockouts, and we'll see how it goes. I think that they will need Christian back though for these later stages, and having him fit and firing will be key. They will probably have a fairly rotated squad here in this third group game, and seeing how they play and how they line up will be quite interesting as well, to see when push comes to shove later on and you need a game changer. Who are they going to bring on? Who are they going to turn to? We've seen a lot of these different options in the past. I know a lot of people don't like it, but Haji Wright often comes on. Can find a goal. Has done it for Coventry all season. But can you have those playmakers? Can you have the difference makers? And we've got a lot of them starting now. The team maybe isn't 26 players deep, maybe around 16 or so. So we'll see what they can do. It's exciting, and I think that everyone should believe that making a semifinal is possible, and should definitely be shooting for minimum quarterfinals.
I love that. We should be a shooting star going for a semifinal. We heard it here first. Our very own Will Zeckman on the terrace saying that we can make that run. I love it. Gets me excited. Gosh, just what a great World Cup it's been so far. You've seen I'm doing my normal thing of having some tea for the show. In this case, a Union Jack. We don't have our resident Three Lion to speak to us, nor our member from the Tartan Army. But I think it'd be fun to get your take, just because you're a follower of it globally, and we'll tie a bow on it here. Looking at the two nations from Great Britain that are still left, what do you make of England's match yesterday? And then do you see the Tartan Army holding their own against Brazil tomorrow to, if anything, punch their ticket into the knockouts?
I think the England game yesterday was a very good test for them. They are a team that really likes to, or historically, I mean, this is Tuchel's first international job, his first World Cup, so it's hard to compare it to past jobs. But as a tournament manager, he seems to like to play against teams that want to play, and Ghana came to struggle to frustrate and make England struggle, and they did exactly that. They tried to punch them on the counters, and they couldn't figure it out. And it's something to say that I'm sure there will be people that will say that's why you should have brought Cole Palmer. That's why you should have brought Phil Foden. They still had a lot of attackers, and in my mind, should have been enough to get the job done.
Totally agree. I'm sorry for cutting you off. I just heard a really good take post match that I thought made sense. Twofold. One, why when you have Anthony Gordon on the squad for pace, right, to stretch outside, why is he crashing? First off, okay, you make the adjustment to have him run more outside, but why did it take so long to do that? Where you then bring on Nico O'Reilly to then start driving towards the outside post, just like Pep was using Man City. I don't know why it took that long, and why often there is this philosophy around when the opponent parks the bus to just feel them out, like let the game come to you. Be on the attack. I don't understand when the balls in to the box started happening in the last 15, 20 minutes in the match. That's when Ghana began to panic and chances were starting to get created. I just always kind of wrestle with that universal philosophy of staying true, of letting the game come to you, instead of why not just on the gas from the beginning and just start putting balls in so that they can get out of sorts. And I don't know. I understand the counterattack and the risk there, but from someone that's got a wife who's a three lion, it just was something I took vested interest in, and was thankful for your take. But on to the Tartan Army. Just want to keep it rolling here. Send it.
I think part of their problem there was their squad selection. They played players that want to play on the counter. How often was Jed Spence and Anthony Gordon in teams this season where they're dominating possession, where they're playing against a low block? They have creators that could have done that for them. Bring in Morgan Rogers, play him off the left. He can do that for you. Even Bukayo Saka for Nani Madueke. I expected that change to be there from the start, and it didn't happen. It's just a little bit surprising. Again, Nico O'Reilly, like you said, probably played against the low block every single week. He Tuchel should have seen that coming. So it was a little bit surprising there, and I think that he didn't set them up for success as well.
Yeah, defo. Tartan Army, fast and furious here. What do you think? Are they going to be able to hang their own, hang in with Brazil tomorrow? Are they on to the knockout rounds? What's your take?
I think that I felt for them, against Morocco. I don't think Morocco was maybe 3 points better than them, but they had better moments. So if you don't, score, you're not going to win. And that's always been the struggle with Scotland of late. And it's going to be tough. I mean, Brazil looked really good against Haiti, a team that Scotland struggled against. However, it's much different opposition and no Rafinha. So who knows? I'd be happy to see Scotland go through. I think, their fan base has really endeared Americans, who have, never experienced what they have to offer. And, the team is, a great part of the tournament. So I hope they get through. I'd love to see a result, at least just keep it tight. They're at an even goal differential, and who knows? You could squeak in. They've got 3 points, and there are teams that don't. So love to see it. I don't know if they can do it, though.
Well, in McTominay, we trust, right? Yeah, we shall see, and we'll certainly be hoping for the Tartan Army, especially for those that you and I both know who are near and dear to our hearts. We'll be thinking of them tomorrow. Well, Will, appreciate you coming on the show. Arsenal Gunners kit looks great. I'm sure we'll have another one that you'll be donning next time on the show. That'll become the fun play here every time that you're showing up to the Terrace segment is what Gunners kit we've got on. So I love it.
Yeah, I do have to say I got the Martin Odegaard on just because that's one of the teams I do not want the U.S. to play in the knockouts. I think Holland would just bully him. So there aren't many teams that I feel like that, but Norway is definitely one of them.
Yeah, let's stay away from Holland as best we can. And as a wife from the northwest of England, that center back of Virgil van Dijk, don't want him either. It's defending. So always good to see you, mate. Always good to see you. All my best to the fam. Oh, thanks for coming on the show, brother. Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, just more gold. We're so privileged. Love that he could be on the screen this week and have Arsenal kit on too was fantastic. I hope that becomes a staple here for the show moving forward, and we can get that terrace filled out here before long. But some of the technical difficulties just was going to lead in that we're on summer break, the international break that they say in global football. So we've got no interview, and no producer. Joe's on holiday, so we're just rolling along, doing the best we can. So just thanks to Rod and Will for coming on. Thanks to everyone that tuned in to the Fields of Friendly Strife podcast. Really appreciate the support. We'll be back next week, same time, same place. Until then, we will see you next time. See if I can figure out how to put a image up. And it's up. And we are out of here.